All right, guys, so if you are thinking about moving to Boulder, I have a strong recommendation for you. So before you buy a house, before you sign a lease, before you make the official move out here and throw your bags down in your new home, I would say come spend 4th of July weekend here and see what it's all about. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make when they're moving from out of town, out of state, out of country, whatever the case may be, to a new home is they spend all of their time looking at houses. And that's very, very important, but we're not really moving to Boulder, Colorado in this case, just for a house. You're moving here for the lifestyle, you're moving here for the connection with the outdoors, you're moving here for the community. So you want to make sure that's all a great fit, and I really can't think of a better weekend to throw our hat in the ring and see what fits than the 4th of July weekend that we got coming up here. One of the reasons why I love 4th of July weekend here is it really shows that in the summertime, Boulder comes alive. It really wakes up. And a lot of people think that's a little counterintuitive because oftentimes the school year ends and some of the students go home, and it can, maybe people think in their head it's a college town, it's not as alive when the school's not in session, but nothing can be further from the truth. People come in to visit, people spend more time outdoors. The students that stick around are taking advantage of the beautiful outdoors that Boulder really has to offer. So the bars, the restaurants, downtown Boulder really comes alive. You're gonna see your friends, your family, your neighbors out there on the hiking and biking trails on Pearl Street that are soaking up the great entertainment, the great opportunities to get a good bite to eat or a good cup of coffee. So man, Boulder really comes alive in the summer, and 4th of July weekend is the best weekend of the summer. Let's be honest with ourselves. And if one of the reasons why you're moving to Boulder is you love the connection to outdoors, and let's be honest, that's a great reason to move to Boulder, one of the big top 10 checklist things for why you want to be here, man, the summer's a great time to be here, and 4th of July weekend is, again, the best weekend of the summer. So whether you're out checking out Chautauqua on Park Walkway, whether you're out in Boulder Canyon, or just cruising around downtown Boulder or walking around Wonderland Lake, you're gonna see a lot more vibrant activity going on. People are gonna be out on paddle boards, people are gonna be taking their mountain bikes out, posting up with their friends and their family in the parks, having a great time. So it's really a great time to be out there enjoying the outdoors and connecting with your friends and neighbors. And speaking of friends and neighbors, the community feel is another great reason to choose Boulder as your next home. And a great way to experience that community is to be out here on the 4th of July weekender. Families and friends posting up for picnics out in the great green spaces and grassy areas and state parks. You're going to see all sorts of great ways the community comes together and celebrates the 4th of July. And of course, check out some awesome fireworks shows, guys. So you really cannot beat 4th of July weekend for getting a great feel for the weather, the community, the friends, the outdoors. It's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to be here in Boulder, Colorado, and make sure it's a good fit for you. And another tip I always suggest to people is, just generally speaking, when you're out here taking a look, is spend some time in exploring some different neighborhoods, right? So yeah, go look at some houses. We're gonna make sure we find some good ones that are gonna be good fits for your needs, but also pop out and check out different communities. Go check out North Boulder, go check out East Boulder, check out Wonderland Lake, check out Table Mesa. Spread your wings and go to some of the neighboring cities like Longmont or Louisville or Gun Barrel, Lyons. There's gonna be some awesome communities that are close to Boulder that might be a little more budget friendly or have some a little bit larger homes that can be great fits for you. And I would say take the time, take advantage of being able to explore the neighborhood while you're getting a feel for it and see what else might be a good fit. Boulder's a tight-knit community, but every neighborhood has its own little vibe, and we want to put you in the place that vibes best with you. Now, one thing I always try to prepare people for is there oftentimes is a little bit of a trade-off when you move to Boulder, particularly moving to some place like Texas, right? So Texas has 4 of the top 10 cities for people who are relocating from out of state into Boulder, and oftentimes the homes there are a little bit larger. The plots of land are a little bit larger. So oftentimes when people come to Boulder, they might be a little bit surprised, depending on where they're moving from, the homes being a little on the smaller side. A little less square footage, yards are a little bit smaller, so a little bit less to manage. But I would say the trade-off here is gonna be the lifestyle, right? People spend a lot of their time outside of their 4 walls, outside of their backyard, and exploring the lovely nature that we're very well connected to here in Boulder. So keep an open mind, right? So it might be a little bit of a lifestyle trade-off, and hopefully your research you have done online, if you connected with me or another realtor, we've kind of showed you some houses and see what the square footage difference might be. Maybe we've shown you some videos, so when you're out here, we're only looking at the highlights of houses, and again, you're able to connect with the lovely lifestyle, because that really, you can't experience that online. So I would say, hey, prepare yourself. Could be a little bit of a trade-off, but most of us folks that live up here are really happy to make that trade. So the lifestyle, the community, the outdoor nature, the connection that we have to all of it is really what separates Boulder from some of the larger cities and what makes it a very special place to live. All right, when you're out here checking out some different homes, and you're out here checking out some different neighborhoods and seeing what the vibe is like in Boulder, I always recommend having, a few questions in the back of your mind. The first one is, do I like the pace of life here, right? Because if we're moving from a bigger city, Boulder might feel a little bit slower, a little more sleepy. But if we're moving from a more rural area, it could feel really busy. There is a college here. There are a lot of college students that do make their full-time home here during and after graduation. So keep that in mind. It's going to be a great pace of life. A lot of us love it, but it could be a change for you. So let's make sure if we're making that adjustment, we're happy with it. Number two, I would say, is do I like being outdoors all this much, right? Again, you don't have to love the outdoors to enjoy living in Boulder, but it is basically inherently outdoor adjacent, right? So if you are a person who loves hiking, biking, mountain biking, fly fishing, you are gonna love it here. You're gonna have great access to it, but if you're a person who's a little bit more of an indoor person or you don't like doing all that physical activity outdoors, are you okay with like hanging out on a patio with your friends? Are you okay with hanging out in your backyard? Are you okay with going on the occasional flat walk around Wonderland Lake to enjoy what's beautiful about Boulder? And lastly, I would say, do I enjoy spending my weekend in the city of Boulder? It's got a unique vibe, it's got a unique feel. I do think it has a little bit of something for everybody, but make sure, if you're gonna move out here for the lifestyle, make sure that lifestyle aligns with what you're looking for. If Boulder is on your list of where you're gonna move next, whether it's just ready to relocate, a job relocation, or thinking about going to school here, whatever the case may be, 4th of July weekend coming up here is a great way to see how it fits, make sure it's a good vibe for you, and make sure it's a good place to be. Any weekend will do. I'm happy to connect with you and show you around and see what makes Boulder really sing for me and hopefully find a good fit for you on any weekend you could think of. But 4th of July weekend is a great one to pencil in and circle if you have the opportunity. So lastly, guys, I love to connect with you guys in person. I love to be able to show you around some houses. These videos are great, but nothing really makes me feel better than being able to welcome you guys personally. So feel free to give me a call, text, email, whatever works for you. Leave a comment down below. I respond to all those as well. Happy 4th of July, and we'll talk to you guys real soon.